future. Canty.
The Dallas Cowboys need to trade Micah Parsons. They need to trade Micah Parsons.
Why?
They have to, at some point, start taking culture seriously. You don't get closer to winning a championship by getting rid of those players, typically. But when you got somebody that has been as vocal as he has, that has at various points gotten himself in trouble with his podcast, saying certain things about his teammates, about the league, there's an opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys this offseason to show the rest of that locker room that our culture here matters. You have to send a message to the rest of the players that this is not something that's going to be tolerated.
Mina Kimes, paging Mina Kimes and her facial expressions that say it all. So I'm just coming right to you, girl. What do you think of what Canty had to say?
He needs to be drug tested.
I love you. I wish we did TV more together. You're out of your damn mind with this one.
Out of your mind.
Look, let me give some context here before I dive into why this is so silly, and I disagree. So when Myles Garrett requested a trade, right, Super Bowl week, I was grabbing some numbers on Myles Garrett, and he has been amazing. Last couple of years, second in just about every metric. The reason he is second is because Micah Parsons is first over the last 2 years. First in pressure rate, first in pass rush win, the most double edge rusher in the NFL. Doubled, by the way, at twice the rate of Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati. He is a generational player. He is the kind of player GMs dream their entire careers of drafting. The idea that the Dallas Cowboys should move on from this level of game breaker because he podcasts? He's a little bit outspoken. I mean, I've heard some of his quotes. They have not been about the Cowboys in a negative fashion. In fact, he came back from injury and played harder than half of the NFL. To trade him would send a message about culture for sure. That is the wrong message, which is we do not value our best homegrown players. I think it would be a move that would set this franchise back for, honestly, years and years.
Well, Mina, I think it's silly that the Dallas Cowboys right now are currently scheduled to have 3 players take up $150 million in cap, and we know the salary cap is going to land around $277 to $281 million. So
that's not
that.
what you said.
So there's that. But it is what I said, Stephen A. If you tune
you were pointing that onto his mouth and his podcast.
No.
Let him finish
It
his
is
thought,
what I
guys.
said. If you tune into a sportsmanlike 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the ESPN radio
Not 6 a.m., not 6 a.m., 7, but not
ESPN too. But it is what I said, and amongst other things. But here's the issue with regard to the culture. Micah Parsons did, in effect, throw his quarterback under the bus when he listed the top quarterbacks in the league and didn't bring up Dak's name. Micah Parsons did, in effect, when holding court in front of his locker with the media, talked about disregarding Coach Mike and saying that it's about guys like Zach Martin, other veteran players in our locker room. There have been various points where his commentary has undermined some of the things that people in that organization in authoritarian positions have had to say in terms of the overall messaging. So there is that aspect of it. But from a strictly team-building standpoint, Mina, what I don't understand is with all of the productivity and how impactful Micah Parsons is as an individual player, the Dallas Cowboys were next to last when it came to scoring defense last year. So you have this generational talent in Micah Parsons, but you don't have a whole lot else around him. And so what is the value of keeping a Micah Parsons if a contract extension for him means less money to fill in the gaps in the other areas of your team that you need to develop? That's the part that nobody can explain to me.
Go ahead, Mina.
Explain it. He was injured for a good chunk of the season, came back, and then they once again resumed having the best one of the best pass rushes in the NFL once he came back from injury and played in meaningful games. The reason why the Dallas Cowboys were not good last year has nothing to do with Micah Parsons. And sure, it would be easier to add players if you didn't pay him. The likelihood that those players, though, would compensate for his loss is honestly pie in the sky. As far as the cap goes, Stephen A., you know this, Dak Prescott's not going to be a $90 million cap hit this year. They're going to restructure his contract. They're going to restructure. They should have paid Micah last season, off season, pardon me. And this is the Dallas Cowboys' biggest sin as a franchise is they wait too damn long to pay guys. They're going to pay him, and then they're going to do their jobs as a front office, which is you figure out the rest of the roster once you have the most talented players in the NFL in place. You don't work in the other direction and just hope that taking a bunch of shots can give you something somewhat close to approximating what you got from that player.
There's only one Lawrence Taylor. There is no other Lawrence Taylor. But it's not an accident that when Lawrence Taylor decided to open his mouth about a particular player, that was the player he talked about. Why? Because Micah Parsons is worth it. That's why. This brother's big time. Make no mistake about it. And by the way, he ain't a culture, he's not a culture shredder. He's a culture builder as far as I'm concerned. Let's take into account what you said, Chris Canty, and talking about Dak Prescott. So what? That man's getting paid $60 million. $60 million. $60 million. Highest quarterback in the league, and the brother got 2 playoff victories. Jalen Hurts has been in the league less. He's got 2 Super Bowl appearances and a Super Bowl championship. Jayden Daniels is a rookie, and he got to an NFC championship game. We still waiting on year 10 for Dak Prescott to get in there. Why the hell should Micah Parsons go out there and call him a top 5 quarterback? Damn it, earn it. That's number 1. Number 2, Mike McCarthy. All right, he's going to take the year off. And, they always say when they can't find a damn job, they'll take the year off. All right, fine. Go ahead, so be it. Like Chicago or New Orleans really, really wanted you. Stop it, okay? Fact is, you in Green Bay. You were booted out of there. You were considered to be archaic. You took a year or 2 off, learned the error of your ways, sold Jerry Jones on that, got the job, subsequently kicked Kellen Moore out of the building because you swore up and down you were the dude that should be calling plays. You were the dude that should be running the offense. Oh, we were throwing the football too much, not running it nearly as much as we should. And then the second, Kellen Moore was on a flight to L.A. via LAX. This man, Mike McCarthy, goes about the business doing the same damn thing he swore Kellen Moore was doing wrong by throwing the damn football and relying on Dak Prescott all the time. Okay, so Micah Parsons doesn't come to his support. Micah Parsons doesn't come to, Dak Prescott's support. But he's come to the support of Zach Martin. He came to the support of DeMarcus Lawrence. He came to the support of a bevy of other players talking about what they needed to do, okay? And oh, by the way, when it comes to running your mouth, how the hell you gonna knock him for running his mouth when his owner, his president, his GM runs his mouth more than him and runs it more than anybody on the team? Don't give me this nonsense about Stephen A. That brother is the real deal. You don't move him for that reason.
Stephen A. You bringing up a billionaire in Jerry Jones. Everybody understands that billionaires don't have the same rules that we do. It's not hard to figure out that Jerry Jones can say whatever the hell he wants to say.
That's not my point.
When you're a player, you realize the owner has more leverage, more freedom than you do. So
well, what about when your behavior mirrors that of the owner? The owner might like that. And listen, if you want to move Micah Parsons because of cap reasons, that's one thing. Hold on, bring up all that other stuff, hell no. No.
Hold on. But Stephen A., before we even go to that, when it comes to the issues that are facing the Dallas Cowboys, I'm not saying that Micah Parsons is the problem. But what we're trying to figure out is what is the solution to the issue that Mina already brought up, which is the Cowboys paying guys later than they should, which is the Cowboys
I'll let Mina handle that.
Their salary
I'm just telling you don't bring up
waiting months on end before you have to pay a player, and then, of course, paying absolutely at the top of the market. That is the issue. It's not paying Dak Prescott or paying CeeDee Lamb. It's when they decided to pay him and waiting a year later.
All right, hold up. One person at a time. Let Canty finish, then Mina's chiming in.
I'm trying to wrap this up,
Canty ain't gonna finish, Molly, ever.
I'm trying to wrap this up, Stephen A. Because they wait so late, they put themselves in salary cap hell, and then all of a sudden they get caught in this doom loop of over-leveraging the future for the here and now, which is what Mina is talking about them having to do in a couple of weeks before the start of the new league year, which is restructuring Dak Prescott.